The sun hung low over my 48-acre ranch in Winslow Bend, Arizona, painting the spring-fed lake with streaks of gold. I'm Tom Bennett, a 52-year-old retired oil engineer who left the city's chaos for this quiet haven 2 years ago. The lake, nestled among willows and rocky outcrops, was mine legally bought, deeded, and paid for. But the Lakeview Heights HOA thought differently, treating my water like their personal playground. Their president, Clara Monroe, was a force of nature and not the good kind. It all started with a fishing trip, a single cast that ignited a war I never wanted. By the end, I'd owned their marina, exposed their lies, and faced threats that shook me to my core. This is the story of how kindness turned into a battle for my land, my dog, and my peace. It was a crisp Saturday when I took my late brother's fishing boat out on the lake. Rod in one hand, a cola in the other, my dog Scout dozing beside me. I was mid-cast when Clara's voice cut through the calm. "This is private property," she bellowed from the shore, jabbing a finger at my boat like it was a missile. Before I could blink, a police car rolled up, lights flashing silently. The officer stepped out, hand on his belt, sizing me up like I'd just pulled a heist. "Sir, Lakeview Heights HOA says you're trespassing." I stared, dumbfounded. "I own this lake. My house is right up there on the ridge." He squinted. "Got proof?" I nodded. "Deeds in my truck." He sighed. "Come ashore." As I reeled in my line, Clara shouted, "We warned you, Tom. You can't just use our lake like you're above us." I kept my cool, but 8 minutes later, I made a call not to a lawyer, but to a broker. By nightfall, I'd bought their beloved Marina, every dock, every picnic table. They had no idea what was coming. Let's back up. When I bought this ranch, I didn't know Lakeview Heights had been using my lake for years, thanks to a handshake deal with the previous owner, Mr. Larson. He'd passed away, and I bought the land from his son, all above board. No one mentioned the HOA's tradition. 3 days after moving in, I baked brownies. I bake and walked to their office to say hello. Clara, tall, with a razor-sharp pixie cut and earrings that screamed boardroom, barely glanced at my tray. "I hope you're maintaining the shoreline," she snapped. "It's been neglected since Mr. Larson stopped caring." I smiled. "I'll do my best. It's my lake, though. I might fish, maybe teach kids to cast." Her face tightened. "Fishing? That's not allowed on HOA property." I tilted my head. "Ma'am, it's not HOA property. It's mine. I'm just being neighborly." Her smile was ice, and I should have seen the storm brewing. The next few weeks were a slow burn. My private property sign disappeared. Kids dove off my dock, scattering when I approached. An HOA guy showed up with a permit to trim my trees. I sent a letter with my deed and a surveyor's map. No response. Then, one morning, I found a barbecue on my lakefront, folding chairs, blaring music, a cooler floating in my water. I asked them to leave, politely. Clara showed up, arms crossed. "This lake is ours," she said. "You're destroying our tradition." I stood firm. I bought it legally. I'm not liable if someone drowns. The next day, my boathouse was wrecked, rods broken, my brother's tackle box smashed, HOA property spray painted on the wall. I filed a police report and set up cameras. 2 weeks later, I took my boat out again, camera on my chest. Clara was at the water's edge in minutes, face flushed, waving her phone. She called the cops, and that's when she miscalculated. While the officer grilled me, I called my broker, Mike. I asked one question: who owns the marina? A company, fed up with the HOA's demands, was ready to sell. Their lease was expired, and I bought it that day cash, no delays. I kept it quiet. The next morning, Clara stormed my boathouse with a crowbar, Scout barking wildly inside. I sprinted down the dock, heart racing. "Scout!" I yelled. She jammed the crowbar into the door, splintering it open. "Get away!" I shouted. She stepped inside, crowbar raised, as I shoved the door wide. Scout bolted between her legs, whimpering, and jumped into my arms. "What are you doing?" I warned. She spun, hair a mess. "This is our boathouse. You can't block our amenities." I pointed at the cameras. "You just broke in, Clara. You're trespassing." She sneered. "Call the cops. Let's see if they care about one stubborn rancher." I didn't call the cops. I drove to town, ready to fight with something sharper than anger: ownership. The marina purchase gave me control of the HOA's only lake access. Their lease was dead, and they hadn't paid a cent. I put up a steel gate, painted the dock red with private property in bold letters, and waited. Clara and her board Paul the treasurer, Linda the secretary showed up, shaking the gate. "You can't do this," Clara screamed. I sipped iced tea, watching from a bench. "You'll regret this, Tom Bennett," she spat. I smiled. "No, Clara. You will." That night, I sent a cease and desist letter with footage of her break-in. The next week, the HOA planned their annual lakefront barbecue on my marina. They hit the gate, stunned, as my security guard turned them away. From my boat, I played a message over speakers. "This marina is under new ownership. Check county records or ask your HOA for a refund of nothing." The crowd gasped, then dispersed. Emails poured in from residents. "We didn't know the lake was private," one wrote. "Clara lied to us." Another, "She said you were the villain." I didn't reply yet. Instead, I filed to revoke the HOA's lake access charter. Then, I woke to dead fish dumped on my lawn, a note on my boathouse. "This ain't over, ranch man." Night vision cameras caught Clara, headlamp glowing, dragging trash bags from her SUV. I called a lakefront meeting. Over 60 residents came, eating burgers as I showed my deed, the surveyor's map, and Clara's footage. The crowd turned on her. She stormed off, silent and pale. But she wasn't finished. A legal document appeared on my gate. The HOA was suing for eminent domain, claiming my lake as a community asset. They'd teamed up with Crestview Development, who wanted to turn my ranch into a resort. I hit back with a lawsuit for fraud, vandalism, and harassment, backed by videos and neighbor statements. The media went wild. Rancher versus HOA power grab. At a council hearing, I laid out my evidence. Clara had no legal claim. The council ruled in my favor, stripping the HOA's lake access. Then, I found a business card from Crestview's director, Victor Lane, near my gate. A leaked tip revealed their plan: 200 homes, a floating restaurant, my lake at the center. Clara had taken a $50,000 bribe. I called a press conference, exposing the scheme. The mayor launched an investigation. That night, a brick hit my door with photos of me, Scout, and my cousin's cabin, a note warning: "Some things break easy." Then Scout vanished. A note on the boathouse read, "Stand down, or your dog's gone for good." I reported Crestview to the feds for grant fraud. Their office was raided, Clara arrested for bribery. A diner owner found Scout, hungry but alive. I bought the marina land cheap, raised the HOA signs, and opened a free public dock. On opening day, 300 residents came, music, food trucks, a cardboard Scout, and sunglasses. They thanked me, but I didn't do it for glory. I did it because no one should be bullied off their land. Now, I sit on my rebuilt dock, Scout beside me, watching the sun set. The lake is mine, and if anyone tries to take it, they'd better bring a lifeboat.